Hello and welcome to a very special video. I hopefully sound a little bit better. I'm going to be talking about some of the health problems towards the end of the video, so if you're interested in that, check it out in the back. So let's go ahead and talk about the inductee. The inductee, to me, have a problem, and this is from second edition to third. And I always liked the idea that they are a desperate times style of unit. They are people fast-tracked through all the processes and thrown onto the battlefield to make up for numbers. They're not specialized, they're not experienced. They go through basically VR training and inductions, and they don't have all of the things that the normal legions would have developed through their time and development and all of that. And my problem has been consistently with the way they have been presented in the rules. They don't feel like a desperate times unit. They feel like, in some cases, a more flavorful unit than the tactical squads that you can take, or even veteran squads. And I've always really disliked this because as I saw them, and this is going to be just my personal opinion, I saw them as they should be almost flavorless. They should be a unit that you're putting up because you want to represent a force that's desperately trying to use numbers to hold the line, not fully developed and capable and special style of rules to give them flavor kind of unit. They should be, these guys are thrown up there. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They have some basic VR training that was inserted into their brain, and we just hope they don't die too fast. That is the way I think they should be. I think it should be one profile that has a couple addendums to it that go, hey, if you're this legion, you can take these items. Or if you're that legion, just change like it from one attack to a second or whatever. You get what I'm saying. Like little minor things to make them fit in with their individual units, not special rules. That should be saved for tacticals and veteran tacticals and so on and so on. And that's been my problem with the Inductii, and is going to probably still be my problem with third edition's Inductii, even though I'm not going to play that edition. Effectively, I just don't like how they have been framed in terms of the rules, and I feel that it comes down to a matter of they feel like they have to add something to them. And I think the absence of special rules, I think the absence of a lot of the character of their own legions, as much as it sounds like a kind of weird thing to say, would give them more flavor. They're generic. There's not much different between them because they haven't really developed into what would make them different. These are guys you yanked off a corner and shoved in power armor and said, good luck, lads. Nothing more than that. And I think that would be interesting. So let's say somebody wants to put a whole Inductii army together. And yeah, they don't have a lot of the things that would make them more individual from other units. But you could play this kind of desperate defense or offense. You could really theme your army around this idea of it's these, let's take a more drastic term, these bastard sons who are trying to live up to something they barely understand. They are not part of the culture of the Legion. They're just guys pushed through the process and thrown onto the field. And they're having to learn effectively while fighting for their lives. I think that desperate times style of army would be really interesting, especially if you put like a single veteran squad in there or Terminators, and you have it be this kind of thing where it's like you have this kind of older guiding force that's trying to instill in their troops, these Inductii, what it means to be the Legion, but having to basically go, none of these guys know what the hell they're doing. They're all fresh. They don't know crap. They're just nobodies thrown onto the field, and they don't understand who or what we are. They just understand that you got to point their weapons at the enemy and pull the trigger. To put it in as ineloquent a manner as possible, but that's literally what a soldier's job is. to a degree, they are Imperial Guard and power armor. Just to throw it in a really basic term, they should just be kind of bland and boring, but that would be what makes them interesting. They're kind of the future, in a way, of where Space Marines go, while being in conflict with the tacticals and the veterans and so on and so on. Plus, I think it would eliminate some of the strangeness and where it's more useful to have an inductii unit than it would be to have a full tactical squad or a veterans or any of that. It's always kind of weird how they've worked in it. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to really get super in deep with the inductii rules or any of that. That's just how I feel. What do you guys think? Do you think that my idea is a little bit better or what? I don't know. But I'm just rambling at this point. So let me get on with the other element. So I wanted to explain it because the last couple months I have been struggling with my health a lot. I've been fairly sick and I've been having a lot of trouble. A lot of people probably, if they've watched my stuff for a while, know that there's been a slight drop in quality, and it's because I've had to move to a different editing program, and I'm doing that while the yard crew is running a chainsaw outside. Wonderful. Oh my lord, why do my neighbors do this to me? Anyways, I have been struggling for a while with my health, and I've been fairly ill, and I'm slowly recovering. My brother just lost both of his parents. We've had a number of deaths lately, and it's just been rough. And that's not an excuse, and it's not to get sympathy from anyone. But I just want to apologize to everybody because they've probably seen a drop in the quality, and I've probably seemed a little bit more stressed and strained and not as well spoken as I was. But I'm hopefully starting to come out of it. We think that most of it's run its course, and I'm slowly getting my health back. Hopefully we don't have too much more of this, but the last year has been one of the most stressful years of my life. And that's not to say it's anyone, there's plenty of people who've had it worse. We've lost a good number of people in the family. There's been a lot of funerals, and a lot of it was cancer related. There was a lot of death when it came to our animals. We lost our dog. We lost a couple of the cats. The family stuff going on both ends of it, and my brother losing both of his parents, and the deaths of some of my own family members as well. It's just been a really tough year, and I know I haven't lived up to your subscription and your time, and I wanted to apologize. I don't want sympathy. I don't want anyone to feel bad, and I don't want people to subscribe because they're like, oh, this poor person. I just wanted to be open and honest, and I've mentioned it a few times, but none of it was to try to get people to feel bad for me. It was just the last bit. I have not felt like I have lived up to my own potential in making videos and content for you guys, and I have been struggling. Like that one last painting video was a complete disaster, and I've just been struggling with both my health, my energy, and just getting things done right. So I wanted to apologize to everybody for that. I am very sorry. I'm going to be trying to redouble my efforts as I slowly come out of this, and hopefully we don't have a relapse. But it has been really, really rough. And even my brother's like, well, you've been sick for a while. And I hadn't even really thought about it because I kept pushing through things. You know, no rest for the wicked and all that fun stuff. But thanks, guys. I hope that I continue to make content that's worthy of your time, because the most precious thing we have is time. And that I am able to continue doing things that are interesting for people. And hey, look, this is a hobby thing for me. I don't expect to be famous. I don't expect to be rich. My main goal in all this is to talk to people who like these things. And that's what I enjoy the most, is chatting with people. So you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.